Chris, what is our second main topic today?
This is from Zach Stevens. Hey, John and co. I think one of the few things about D23 this year that really stood out to me was that Harrison Ford said this is his last Indiana Jones movie. I mean, I'm not surprised. I don't think a lot of us expected him to do another one after this one, but it's still weird hearing him say that. What do you guys think about Ford ending his run as Indiana Jones?
You know, it's funny when you think about this new Indiana Jones movie. I believe, and guys in the live chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that Kathleen Kennedy announced this movie in 2015. I mean, it has had a lot of bumps and struggles along the way. But like one of the big shining things, of course, Steven Spielberg is the greatest director of all time, and he's not there. But understanding that, great news that we've got James Mangold directing this film, who has just been killing it. Like Ford v Ferrari,
Dude.
Logan. I mean, he just crushes it. He's so good. And that is, of course, very, very exciting. Now, I think you're absolutely right. I think none of us were expecting another Harrison Ford-led Indiana Jones movie in 2029 or anything like that. But just to make it clear, Harrison Ford laid it out there. This is indeed his last outing as Indiana Jones. This comes to us from the folks over at Screen Rant who write the following. During this year's D23 Expo, Ford took to the stage to confirm to attendees what many have suspected all along, that this latest outing as the famous whip-cracking archaeologist will be his last. During the Lucasfilm panel, Ford introduced a sizzle reel of the upcoming Indiana Jones adventure and cracked a joke about ending his tenure in the fan-favorite role, leaving no doubt as to his intentions. The 80-year-old Ford quipped, "This is it. I will not fall down for you again." And that again comes to us for Screen Rant. Again, listen, if this is indeed, and I think we all believe it is, Harrison Ford's final outing as Indy, I don't think it's hyperbole to say Indiana Jones is maybe a top 5 most iconic character in the history of cinema. Like you say Indiana Jones, everybody in the world knows who and what you're talking about. You know it, your parents know it, your grandparents know it. I mean, and like as far as Harrison Ford goes, he has played 2 of maybe the top 5 iconic characters in the history of cinema as Indiana Jones and, of course, Han Solo. If this is the end of his run, then it just really especially makes me hope that this film is really good, because you don't want Indiana Jones 4 and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull to be your last outing, right? I mean, listen, even if it was, no one's going to hold, that doesn't hurt his legacy as Indiana Jones at all. No one even talks about Crystal Skull anymore. When everybody thinks of Indy, they think of the first 3 films. So his legacy is absolutely secure. But it would be really great if he could go out on a high note on this one. Fingers crossed. Hey guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of this video, Ryan Reynolds, and specifically his delightful company, Mint Mobile. So look, after years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch? But after talking to them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't a catch. And guys, this is no joke. I have been using Mint Mobile for months now. And on top of the fact that I'm spending literally about 1/3 every month of what I was spending on my former major carrier, I've discovered no decline in my service. I kept my phone number and I was able to keep my phone. The switch from my old service to Mint Mobile couldn't have been easier and saved me more money. And the best part for anybody who just hates their phone bills is that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. All of their plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with all your existing contacts. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea. Anyway, Rob, you hear, Harrison Ford pretty much confirmed, this is my last outing. What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, it's been 41 years since Raiders of the Lost Ark came out. And that's more than half of Harrison Ford's life on this planet. So I love the fact that these actors are when they create these iconic roles and they permeate the pop culture and they transcend generations. I like the fact that in a way we've watched this character age within the universe and then also the actor that plays him in real life. And there's something about that I find strangely comforting in a way, because look, you can try, I'm sure somebody's going to reboot Indiana Jones at some point, and that's fine. But the thing is, there are few actors and their roles that are so indelible that literally represent a period of history. 41 years is a long time to be playing a role. We've watched Indiana Jones grow and change in universe, and also Harrison Ford as an actor. And there's something I really love about the fact that he is getting this final movie, that by all accounts, people who saw the footage that no one else has seen in that room said it looked great. And I really love this. I mean, I think it's great. I think they should never make another Indiana Jones movie, because the DNA of what led to it, the whole franchise getting made, no longer exists. And I think that that's important. I think there's something nice about this bookend of a man's career. I like it.
See, I don't know if we can say that Harrison Ford has been playing this role for 41 years, because if he had been doing an Indiana Jones movie every 2 or 3 years, I think we could say, like,
well, yes,
this will be his 5th film in 41 years.
Sure.
Right? But yeah, no, I totally see what you're saying, though. Chris, you hear Ford saying this. Do you believe this will be his last one? And if it is, how is history going to look back, do you think, on Harrison Ford's run as Indiana Jones?
Definitely think it's his last one, unless he's going to take on the Sean Connery kind of vibe here, right? Because he's 80. He's 80 years old.
Yeah, man.
You know, I mean, you can only do so much with a whip when you're 80. I assume. I don't know.
I'm not going to try to interpret
yeah,
that.
I won't say a word.
I'll
keep my mouth shut.
Nope.
Do what you want with that. But I mean,
Not
he's
taking the bait.
He's very iconic in this role, and to go off of what Rob was saying here too, if they do recast this and the rumors are true of him like threatening other actors with the "Don't you get it? I am Indy,"
Right.
He'll just haunt that set, and that'll be a really fun behind-the-scenes documentary that we'll get. I mean, I really think this is going to be his last hurrah, and I think it'll be fine. And you know what? Crystal Skull always live on forever in my wedding vows, so I'll always have that.
You know what? I will say this. I believe that it is Harrison's last one. His place in history is secure forever. I don't believe this is the last Indiana Jones movie, though.
Right.
And I'll go so far as to say that I don't think it should be the last movie that they ever do. Like, I just hate the thought that, look, when you average it all out, Harrison Ford played Indiana Jones once every 8 years, when you average it out. I would hate the idea that somebody, whether it's a Steven Spielberg or a James Mangold or a James Gunn or an anybody, came up with a fantastic story idea for an Indiana Jones adventure, but then we said, no, because it can't be Harrison Ford anymore. I mean, like I've talked about this before. I think you are right, Rob, when you say, I don't know that there's another character that is as inseparable from who played them as Indiana Jones was. But I think when you go back to like the Solo movie, which was a bad idea to make in the first place, but I think Alden Ehrenreich proved that somebody else could play the role.
Yes.
And made a pretty fun movie out of it.
Yeah.
And maybe lightning could strike with that if they did another. Look, Indiana Jones is way too valuable of an IP. Right now, outside of Star Wars, Lucasfilm doesn't have anything else. They're going to try to make Willow one. But I mean,
great,
I think,
though. Oh my God, I'm so excited about Willow.
But you know, John, I often think that we have a problem. Our culture right now, because of the corporate interests of all the people that own these IPs, Indiana Jones is a period piece. You know, it began in 1936. Temple of Doom was a prequel in 35. As we move further and further and further away from those dates, and we move further away from the idea of these came from the serials, which most audiences don't even know what those were in the first place. So the very reason that the Indiana Jones character existed, because of what Spielberg and Lucas wanted to do, becomes a distant memory. So I would be interested in, we need characters and we need new IPs that reflect now. So if you were going to do a period character, somebody should make a character like from the 80s. Because if you think about it, if Indiana Jones starts in 1936 in Raiders and it comes out in 1981, there's like, okay, give it 45 years or whatever. So if you go back in time 45 years, eventually there's going to be the people, your audience is going to be like, what is this? I mean, it's too far away
I
from
don't know that I agree with you. We were just talking about Knives Out, right?
Yeah.
That old style Agatha Christie kind of thing, which they just don't make those anymore.
No,
right?
but
they made it well, and it totally worked. I think you can totally still do an Indiana Jones story. Now, whether it be advisable or whether they can do it great, that's another question. But I don't think the audiences at all today feel like World War II, Hitler, what's that? I don't think that would be a part of it at all.
No, but the thing about, look at the Knives Out, it's modern. You know, they're taking the paradigm and they've created a new character, and he's relating in a modern way. And now we have a brand new franchise of a new character, new fresh movie. Like I would say, he is exactly what I'm talking about, a new franchise character that belongs to this era.
Right, but we have new characters being created all the time.
Sure.
We have new franchises.
But not as iconic
hopefully.
as Indiana
No,
Jones.
not as iconic as Indiana Jones. But I got to say, if they did make another one, and I'm not 100% sure they will, I think they will, I got to disagree. I think you put him right back in there of Indy versus Nazis.
Well,
I
you'd
think
have
stay
to.
in that time frame.
You'd have to. I think you'd have to do that. And I'm sure somebody will do that. I don't know if somebody should do that though.
Well,
because
yeah.
I want to see more. I want to see more iconic new characters.
Right, but Lucasfilm doing another Indiana Jones movie in no way stops anybody else in all of the industry from still making new movies with new characters.
Not true,
Right?
I mean,
It's not like if they make another Indiana Jones, that now inhibits anybody else from making new adventure types of movies, right?
Sure.
So I mean, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. And of course, the bottom line is winning cures everything. So
Yes,
I mean,
right.
that's what it'll
It's
come
true.
down
Can
to.
we talk about, though, how one of the best things to come out of D23 was Ford and Quan hugging? I have never seen
The
Harrison
picture
Ford.
that came out.
He looks so happy.
Did
He has
you-
never smiled that
If you
big.
guys don't know what Chris is talking about, they put out a picture, went out on social media behind the stage at D23. Of course, the actor who played Short Round, which right now is one of the stars of the best movie of the year, Everything
Kwan.
Everywhere all at Once. Him and Harrison Ford together behind stage, him hug it. It's one of those pictures that just makes your heart smile. It just makes your heart happy seeing it. I felt so happy seeing
And
that
he's
picture.
in the cast of Loki season 2.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
So,
and I think when he came out on stage, he said, "No, guys, this is not part of the Indiana Jones panel." When he came out, he's like, if you haven't seen that picture, guys, you should go and look it up. It'll just, like I said, it'll make your heart happy."
Here it is.
Oh, do we got it here? Oh, there it is right there, right? How I want to frame that picture and hang it on my wall.
Right?
I love that picture. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this whole Indiana Jones situation? This will be Harrison Ford's final go. What is his ultimate legacy? Do you think they will go on and make other Indiana Jones adventures down the line? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts.